Hey everyone, Kaylee Shadows here. So I wanted to come and talk about a few posts that I've been doing on Facebook this week because I've really been talking to a lot of different couples on, staying equal in your relationships. Because unfortunately, a lot of times in our relationships, at one point or another, we will decide that it's a little bit more than 50% about us. And so I've been trying to talking because I have this great friend who is, her and her husband are really struggling this week because they have just found out that he had lost his job, and they've really been trying to figure out what they were going to do with money and just, all the stress that all of us go through during financial hardship. Um, he's been already feeling like he's such a failure and that he's just a lot of things that most of us will go through when stuff like this has happened. And I guess they got in an argument and everything, and she basically told him that she felt like she needed to take control of everything because he wasn't going to man up and do it himself. And it was just kind of like, ouch. Like, it just confirmed all of his doubts and all of his suspicions that he was a failure, and has really put a huge dent in their relationship. And I'm sure, it was probably more one of those things. They were arguing, she was upset, said something she didn't mean to say, and she probably doesn't even think that. She's just stressed herself. And unfortunately, a lot of times that happens when you're in a stressful relationship, or not relationship, but situation. You will sometimes argue with the person you should be, kind of just pairing up with the most. And I think that that's kind of what happened in this situation, is that instead of them coming together and realizing they need each other right now more than anything, not just to be there for each other, but like a shoulder to cry on or whatever kind of thing, they've actually, just separated from each other and now are kind of placing blame and just different things like that. And unfortunately, we do that a lot. So, this had, happened a few days ago, and I was really thinking about it, and I just thought, wow, what a horrible thing. Why would you say that to your husband, or your wife or whoever, and kind of thing. And it really kind of got me thinking about, just a lot of different things. And unfortunately, I've seen this with a few other relationships I've had, too, where women just kind of get to that point where they think that they need to just take control of everything. And all of a sudden, their husbands are feeling like they're just a little bit, they're losing some of their manhood there. And so when I thought, this would be the perfect thing to go with my beautiful picture that I found here. And so I had posted on there and basically was like, ladies, please don't, make your man feel like less of a man by thinking you need to control everything, because this isn't all about you. And I got to talking to my best friend about this earlier, this post and everything, and she was kind of talking to me, and she was like, she's like, I know you've known you forever, so I know, that you're not one of those people that think like, oh, the man should work and the woman should cook and, all of this like 1950s type stuff. She's like, however, she's like, when I read your post, she's like, it sounds like that. And I was like, oh, well, that's not how I meant it. So I actually went back and edited it and made a little bit of a change to it, and kind of had talked to a couple other people about it too, and kind of had noticed that, just a few things like, I had a comment from another really great friend of mine who was kind of like, but it's 50% about me. And I was like, you're right. I completely 100% do I agree with you. I do believe that it should be an equal thing. It should be 50-50. It's not all about him. It's not about her or whatever your current relationship status is. It's about both of you. That's the whole thing. So it kind of got me thinking, and I thought, well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because even though we kind of, we live in the world today where it's, not, like I said, it's not the 50s. It's not like the little, the man goes off to work and the woman stays at home and she cooks and cleans the house and does all that kind of stuff, and everybody lives in the same house. It's not like that or anything. And so I think, however, though, a lot of times, and especially for men, kind of even just as they're being raised and stuff, they still kind of have that feeling like, I'm man, I must be man, I'm girl, kind of thing. And it doesn't take much for them to kind of lose that, feeling like, well, maybe I'm not as much of a man as I should be, or something, like they're doing something wrong. And I think sometimes that's kind of a society kind of thing anyways. But in the situation of what I was saying here, is it wasn't anything, it wasn't a bash against women, because that's not at all what I was saying. It was that thing of basically being like, in any relationship, is that if you start to think that you're the one who should be controlling things, you're going to have a problem, because it shouldn't be that. It's not who's controlling who here. You love each other. You're supposed to be together. So I found this great picture today, and I posted it. And it's like of a campfire, and it says, you need to love each other equally, or else the whole relationship will crash and burn. And I was like, that is perfect, because that is exactly the point of what I was trying to get across. And so I posted that, and so you'll see that on there. And so anyways, that was kind of what I wanted to come and stuff, just because of the fact that I didn't want anybody else to read my post and from before and think, wow, does she think the same thing or whatever. So wanted to kind of clarify that, and yeah, really just kind of focus on that point about you staying equal in your relationship, because that is really important, and loving each other. And when times get really tough, come together and join together and be there for each other, because that's what's going to get you through those really hard times. So I'm Kaylee Shadows. Check out my website, KayleeShadows.com, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.